up on News 2, the Senate Committee on Health, Hospitals, Human Services, and Veterans Affairs met and provided testimony in regards to some of the hospital's shortcomings and corrective actions. And many students were adding, subtracting, multiplying, and crunching numbers. In the end, it all adds up to the best mathletes in the VI. Plus, why you might want to cancel plans for the beach and swimming this weekend. Hello, welcome, and thanks for joining us on this edition of News 2. I'm Sandra Romancing. The Senate Committee on Health, Hospitals, Human Services, and Veterans Affairs met for the first time Thursday. St. Thomas Hospital officials provided testimony in regards to some of the hospital's shortcomings and corrective actions. An update on the dialysis units and morgue was also provided, which proved to be the focus of discussion. News 2's Erica Bivens brings us a recap. Erica?
Officials from the Schneider Regional Medical Center gave testimony Thursday, and while many senators agreed the hospital has made tremendous strides in the past few years, there are some concerns that still need to be addressed. Of particular interest was the dialysis unit. According to the testifiers, there are 15 dialysis stations on the second floor, as well as one isolated station. An additional 2 were added on the third floor, making the total 18 units, which puts them at maximum capacity for the amount of space they have. The number of dialysis patients, meanwhile, has also increased over the past couple years. In 2010, there were 76 patients compared to 87 in 2011 and 99 last year. Currently, they're at capacity with 101 patients and cannot accommodate new ones. Because of the increased number of patients, the hospital now has a waiting list, which contains 51 patients requesting treatment, as well as 15 patients hoping to transfer from other facilities. Officials Thursday stated they are also in need of 10 new machines, each costing $19,500, but they don't have funding for that. Now, the morgue's condition was also discussed, which officials agreed needed improvement. Some senators asked whether the Department of Justice could help with funding, which hospital interim CEO Angela Reynolds Atkinson says is part of their responsibility, stating normally bodies are kept at a city morgue, not the hospital. And in terms of a deficit, they're about $2 million in the hole and cannot sustain that for much longer. Much of that is because 10% of patients treated don't have insurance and therefore don't end up paying. The hospital did say they are looking to fill several positions, to include RNs and dialysis technicians. Officials from JFL are scheduled to testify March 13th on St. Croix. Sandy?
The Senate committee also had questions for Department of Health officials about the dengue cases in the VI. Senators questioned the side effects of fogging, and while Health Commissioner Plaskett confirmed it is a pesticide they use, she said it's approved by the EPA and those effects must be weighed when there is a severe epidemic.
Know that there are other measures that can be implemented that are safer. The 20 to 50 feet zone is to take precautions from the chemical getting into consumable water systems. And that's why when we put out the release based on the concerns of the community to institute fogging, we did it during the evening times when people tend to be within their homes. Also, we communicated the schedule so that if there were health concerns or individuals, for example, with respiratory problems, that they can stay away from that area for a specific period of time.
U.S. Attorney General Eric Holder has left the territory after meeting with federal prosecutors on St. Thomas Tuesday. The reason for the visit is still unclear. According to a media advisory, Holder was in the territory to meet with the U.S. Attorney for the Virgin Islands. Although it wasn't an official visit, a presidential plane could be seen sitting near the National Guard's hangar at the airport on St. Croix earlier today. News 2 contacted the U.S. Attorney's office for comment, but calls were not returned by News Time. It was a battle of the mathletes on St. Croix as over 70 students from public and private schools competed in the island's district math counts competition at the Good Hope School. Students were tested in various subjects from algebra to geometry, and top students were selected to compete in the territorial competition. News 2's Janisha John brings us more from the competition.
Calculators and pencils were put to work today as over 70 6th to 8th grade students gathered at the Good Hope School to test their mathematical skills at this year's district Math Counts competition.
We have over 70 students participated in the Math Counts competition 2013, and here we have them taking part in several rounds. They do algebra, geometry, trigonometry, even statistics. A wide range of problems they do.
Students were in full focus as they worked through 4 different rounds of individual and team competitions, hoping to gain the highest scores to be chosen to represent St. Croix in the territorial and possibly the national Math Counts competition.
The top 10 students are going to be selected to represent St. Croix in the territorial Math Counts competition, or what we call the state Math Count competition, and that would be held March 14th in St. Thomas. Nationally, we pick a VI team. The top 4 kids and the top coach will comprise of the VI national team, and they will be going Washington, D.C., May 11th.
Top students also competed in a countdown round, where mathlete Habiba O'Neill from the Elena Christian Junior High School was able to win the top individual spot.
I'm shaking right now. I don't know, I'm really excited, but I wouldn't have done it without my teacher, really.
Organizers honored the top teams and students for their performance, all as a way to motivate students to continue to explore mathematics.
We try very hard to motivate the kids to do a lot more math in high school. This is the initial step, so that when they get into high school, they do all those challenging math courses and be ready if they want to go in the field of aeronautics, engineering, any area with math or science is involved.
Janisha John, News 2.
Meanwhile, on St. Thomas, it was also a number-crunching showdown as students made their way up to the University of the Virgin Islands for the annual Math Counts competition for the St. Thomas St. John district. This year's competition featured around 50 6th, 7th, and 8th graders from 6 different schools across the district as they showcased their mathematical expertise in algebra, geometry, statistics, and even problems containing physics and chemistry.
It's the coaches and the parents who make that difference, because the students are getting ready for this from early in the year. As a matter of fact, some of them, this is their 3rd year, because some of them were involved from 6th grade, and those students are even more enthusiastic. In other words, when Math Counts was finished last year, they didn't stop. They continued working on problems and trying different things from then up till now.
On St. Thomas, here's a look at some of the results. Antilles School took top honors in 2 categories, including team competition and singles competition. Simran Marshandani, who represents Antilles, was the top mathletes of the St. Thomas St. John district. Students from Montessori and BCB also dazzled, earning spots in the top 10. These students will go head-to-head with the winners of St. Croix for the territorial competition on March 14th. Meanwhile, here's a look at St. Croix's Math Counts results. Ali Boshena of Church of God of Academy, Kalahari Brian of Country Day, and Habiba O'Neill. These are some of the winners, and News 2 will keep you updated. Police on St. John arrested 2 suspects for allegedly making unauthorized purchases with a bank card that belonged to someone else. Officers arrested 31-year-old Clint Richard Tetrick, also known as Ricky, and 25-year-old Beth Allison Davis after racking up more than $1,500 worth of merchandise. The pair, who are from Louisiana and Missouri, made purchases at several stores and restaurants on St. John. Both suspects have been charged with obtaining money by false pretenses and were placed on $35,000 bail each. Merchants are reminded to always check identification when taking credit card payments. Turning our attention stateside, next week, massive across-the-board cuts in federal spending are scheduled to kick in. Unless the president and Congress reach a deal, almost every government agency could face cutbacks, and many federal workers could lose their jobs. Danielle Nottingham has the latest from Washington.
In 7 days, teachers will face job losses, emergency workers may be pulled back, and there could be longer lines at the airport. That's what the White House says will happen if Congress does not stop automatic budget cuts known as the sequester.
I don't know why it is in this town folks leave stuff till the last minute. There's no other profession, no other industry where people wait until the 11th hour to solve these big problems.
On March 1st, the cuts will kick in. adding up to about $1.2 trillion over the next decade. But a new poll finds 40% of Americans are willing to see the cuts go through if the president and Congress can't reach a budget deal. And some Republican lawmakers agree.
Not only should the sequester stand, many pundits say the sequester's far short.
The painful cuts were designed to force lawmakers to find a better budget solution. They have it. Congress is out of town and won't be back until next week, leaving little time to make a deal. The Defense Department faces the biggest cuts, and not just for troops and weapons. Some 700,000 civilian workers could feel the impact. Sue Ann Falkenberg is an administrative assistant at a naval school in California. The single mom is facing a 20% pay cut.
I can't exactly call my landlord and say, hey, I got a 20% cut in my salary. Can you reduce the rent for 20%?
Falkenberg is hoping Democrats and Republicans can reach a compromise soon. Danielle Nottingham, News 2.
And keeping our eye on the economy, U.S. stocks are following European markets lower. A monthly survey of European executives showed that business activity in the European Union slowed in February. Analysts say the survey suggests that a downturn that began last year will continue into 2013. New figures confirm the job market recovery is slow. 20,000 more of Americans applied for unemployment benefits last week. The government says the 4-week unemployment average rose to a 6-week high. This is a New York Stock Exchange, Scotiabank Stock Market Watch. Everything down. The Dow 46, NASDAQ 32, S&P 9. Coming up on News 2, heading to the beach this weekend, Waste Management Authority has an advisory for you. Plus,
how certain vegetables may help prostate cancer patients. I'm Randall Pinkston in New York with the story coming up.
Waste Management Authority is advising St. Croix residents and visitors that some Frederiksted beaches will be closed until further notice. On Wednesday, workers discovered a forced main break near the Lagoon Street pump station at the gut near St. Patrick's School playground. While the contractors repair that break, waste flow will be directed into the lower portion of that gut. The mouth of the gut on Frederiksted Beach will be opened to allow release of that flow. Signs have been posted at the Frederiksted and Dorsch beaches to let people know. The beaches will remain closed until the water quality is tested, and officials say it's safe for use. For years, doctors have said antioxidants can help battle a number of illnesses, from cancer to heart disease. But new research shows they may not make much difference when it comes to stroke and dementia. Randall Pinkston reports.
Always makes sure fruits and vegetables are on her shopping list.
I've always loved them. My parents got lucky.
Fruits and vegetables are packed with antioxidants that can boost the body's immune system. But a new study finds there are some things antioxidants can't do.
They looked at whether or not it reduced the rate of either dementia, Alzheimer's disease, or stroke. And unfortunately, it did not do either.
Harvard researchers followed more than 5,000 people over 14 years, tracking the food they ate. They found many got their antioxidants from coffee and tea.
There is some suggestion that the source, what you eat, that not all antioxidants are created equal.
Doctors say eating fruits and vegetables is still the best source of antioxidants. Getting plenty of those foods reduces the risk of obesity, hypertension, and heart disease.
The importance of a healthy, balanced diet that tastes good cannot be underestimated.
At least half of Pot's diet is fruits and vegetables.
It's really important to take care of my body.
She dances and acts, so she says eating right is not only good for her health, but for her work. In New York, Randall Pinkston, News 2.
Well, if you haven't seen the magazine as yet, Kate Upton is the new 50th anniversary edition Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue cover girl for the second year in a row. But before that, she was named in 2011 SI's Rookie of the Year, something many Virgin Islanders are hoping will happen for Hannah Davis, who grew up in St. Thomas, Virgin Islands. Now, she is seen in the upper right-hand corner of the issue. If you take a look at it. At 14 years old, Davis was discovered by a family friend, model scout Ginny Edwards Maxwell. The former Antilles student appeared in campaigns for Ralph Lauren, Blue Label, Davis appeared on the cover of Mexico's Elle in August 2009, among others, and Davis is presently appearing in televised advertisements as the DirecTV genie. Hannah's shots were taken in China for the swimsuit issue, but today is the deadline to vote for her to be named 2013 Rookie of the Year. You may still have some time. Log on to sportsillustrated.cnn.com/swimsuit. On Monday, the president of the University of the Virgin Islands, Dr. David Hall, had the chance to trade roles with student Marsha Lawrenson in university's President for a Day project. On Thursday, both Dr. Hall and Lawrenson took the time to share some of the experiences they encountered along the way of the first ever role swapping.
So I sat at a table by myself for dinner in the cafeteria. But one student after another came up and just had conversations with me. They weren't complaining about something wrong at the institution, but just wanted to talk and wanted to find out how my day went.
And execute my plan. Of course, with my, I have to have a hand in it as I am the go-to person. But of course, there is a humble calm with the honor of being the president, and that's one thing I was able to appreciate.
Congratulations to them. In our Black History Moment, we remember Barbara Jordan, a politician and civil rights leader. 76 years ago on this day, Barbara Charlene Jordan was born in Houston, Texas. She earned her place in history as the first African American elected to the Texas Senate after Reconstruction and the first Southern black woman elected to the U.S. House of Representatives. Jordan began her career teaching political science at Tuskegee Institute in Alabama. In 1960, she returned to Houston, passed the bar, and started a private law practice. She won a seat in the Texas Senate in 1966. After several unsuccessful runs, she was elected to Congress in 1972. She received the Presidential Medal of Freedom, as well as many other honors. When she died on January 17, 1996, she became the first African-American woman to be buried in the Texas State Cemetery. Stick around, your News 2 AccuWeather forecast is coming up next.